Most people spend their entire lives, especially men, chasing freedom. But a lot of times when people get to this place, if they ever get to this destination that they have prescribed themselves, it feels empty. Oftentimes people feel burnt out or exhausted or like they just need a break. And so today, what I want to share with you is the three levels of freedom that exist in the world and what they look like and how people go through them and where you can actually start to get to that level that you actually desire. Because most people don't realize what it actually is that they're searching for. And so the first one in the levels of freedom is financial freedom. We've all heard this, we all know this term. And there's nothing wrong with seeking financial freedom. I think it's something every human should work towards in some capacity or another. The goal for money to no longer be a barrier. How great is that? Nobody likes to feel financial stress. I'm with you. I feel you. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be worrying about where their next meal is coming from, if they're going to be able to pay rent this month, if they are going to be able to create a lifestyle for the family that they want to have. And financial freedom feels like success for so many people until it doesn't. Because at some point, what a lot of people realize is that the levels that they are putting into, the energy that they're putting into to get here, creates burnout, creates exhaustion, creates resistance inside of them. And ultimately, what's happening is they are misaligned in their efforts to get the financial freedom. And so it no longer feels like success at some point. At some point, people just give up on this dream because they believe that the way to get it is one that is not in alignment or sustainable. And so this is where some people end completely. Now, the next stage, it's a more evolved stage. And the next stage is time freedom. And what a lot of people do is they get the financial freedom. A lot of people get to the place where they're no longer worried about money. And I'm sure you've heard of this study. If you haven't, I'll share with you now that the level of happiness that people have, once you hit 75,000, the growth in your income doesn't nearly match the amount of extra joy that you create from that. Now, I know this study that I've heard and read about, and I don't know how to reference it, but I've heard it. It's a little older. And so these numbers have probably changed. But let's say you're making 100K. You're living comfortably. Yes, you can afford more vacations, afford more of these things, but there's a cap. There's a cap, or rather let me say, diminishing returns as you continue to walk down that path. And so where most people go from there is the time freedom. If they got the financial freedom, the next step is like getting back my time. Because ultimately, my time here on this planet is limited, at least in this lifetime. And I want to have control over my schedule. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. That's something you hear people say a lot. The financial freedom is doing what you want. When you want is the time freedom. And most people, I will say, never reach the level where they have both of these. And people want that autonomy. People want to feel like they have control over their lives. One of the worst feelings that people experience is feeling controlled, feeling like they don't have power. And when you're not financially free, you feel like you are slave to money. And when you don't have the time freedom, you feel like slave to your job or whatever it is that's holding back all of your time. Nobody likes to feel controlled in these capacities. That's literally what freedom is. It's being free from these things, at least in the common sense of how people use these words. And so a lot of people evolve to that stage of time freedom. And a lot of people, again, never get both. A lot of people have financial freedom where they're comfortable, they can do what they want, but the truth is they can't do it when they want. They got to be at work at this time, they check in or clock in at this time, clock out at this time. Some people have ridiculous hours, but they're making good money. And a lot of people live in this construct of it has to be either or. Now, the other or that a lot of people live with is they have time freedom, but they have zero financial freedom. They're barely getting by. They're doing what it takes, the bare minimum, but guess what? They have a lot of time. And some people that feels in alignment. But the truth is everyone wants both of these things. You don't want to have to settle for or. You'd rather have both. Wouldn't you love to have an abundance of time at your discretion, discretionary time, because we all have the same amount of time on a day, but discretionary time, and then financial freedom. We would love to have both of these, wouldn't we? I think we all would. It's preposterous not to think so. But I'm going to tell you right now that neither of these things are quite as fulfilling as the third. And the third, for so many people, is the missing piece. And the third is energy freedom. The ability to consistently feel energized, powerful, clear, resilient, when you're not just free on paper, but you're actually fully alive in practice. That's true freedom. And we all have that choice to generate that at any point in time. You see, a lot of people, when they hear this, they immediately discount it. Oh, what kind of bullshit is this? Okay. I thought this was going to be something good. I've heard it before. The truth is, most people discount how important our energy is. But you know what? Our emotions are a reflection of our energy. And our energy is the foundation of our experience of life. Okay? Now, every single thing that we do inside of our life is catered at feeling good. Every single thing. I don't care what it is. Everything that you are doing in your life is catered at feeling a certain way. And I would argue that that's always going to be a good feeling. We're not intentionally trying to feel bad. At times we will create a sense of guilt or shame or regret where we think we need to feel bad. That's not how we want to feel. It's what we think we should feel. Ultimately, we all want to experience high levels of energy and the best emotions. We would love to experience joy all of the time. We would love to experience love and peace all of the time. You see, everything that we do is catered around creating a feeling. Every single thing. The reason that people want financial freedom is because it's going to make them feel a certain way. Or we can chase down the rabbit hole. They think that it's going to give them a certain lifestyle, allow them certain things that then create a feeling of security, a feeling of safety, a feeling of abundance. We're always searching for a feeling. We're always searching to create a feeling and an energy. But most people work down the ladder. Financial, if we get past that, we go to time. If we get past that, then they realize the most fulfilling thing is energy freedom. And so if you're someone who hasn't made this shift, I want you to know you don't have to go down the ladder like that. In fact, it's the worst way to go about it. But it's where most people start, because our society has delved that money is one of the most important things. And then there's a second degree class where, time is the most important thing. And I love both of these things. I love money. I love what money does inside of my life to allow me the opportunities that I have. Believe me, I'm not discounting how important I think it is. And also time. Oh my gosh. Don't we all wish we had more? Yes. I'm not discounting it. But what I am saying is the most important thing is actually the energy. What's really, really cool is that when you actually start to work on the energy freedom, the next things start to become a lot easier. You see, there's a principle that everyone I've talked with can agree to, and I hope you can too. And that is that like energy attracts. Okay? If I am more joyful, I am more likely to attract more joyful experiences. I have tested this theory with years of life experience, and specifically looking at it in the last year, really clearly looking and seeing it continuously prove itself over and over and over. And we have these energy spirals. Have you ever had one of those days where everything is going like shit? One bad thing started it off, and then the next thing, and the next thing, the next thing. But then you've also had those days, I know you have, where freaking every single thing went well. It was good. It was great. It's great. And you're just like, oh my God, look at all the magic that's happening in my life. And it's because like energy attracts. It's a spiral that goes upwards, or it's a spiral that can go downwards. You see, and when everything's going right, you are unstoppable. You are absolutely unstoppable. You are in an abundant energy. And when you're in abundant energy, guess what? When you go to the space of finance and you stay in that abundant energy, watch what you start to attract. It becomes a lot easier. A lot of people, they can get into a state of energy freedom, so they believe, but then they go to money and suddenly the energy drops and they're in scarcity. They're in the energy of scarcity. And all energies that we carry have a frequency that we operate at, and the highest what you see is love and peace and joy. And these are the top emotions, and guess what you attract when you're in that space? Other like things. And so energy freedom is the most important thing. And when we start with this, we make the other levels incredibly easy, because guess what? I am the freedom architect. And I want you to have every level of freedom. I want you to have time freedom. I want you to have financial freedom. And I sure as hell want you to have energy freedom. All of them. Energy freedom is the ability to generate, sustain, and live in your highest frequency without needing time off to recover. And I heard this example that Brendon Burchard shared, and it's the power plant analogy. Because guess what? Did you know? Power plants don't actually have energy. They generate it. And it's the same thing with us. We generate our energy. We create it all the time. It is a choice. Your energy is a choice. And so when we start to adopt the truth that energy freedom is the highest level, we start there, and it's actually just a choice. Because guess what? Our time is a set amount, and financial, these numbers are even arbitrary. But our energy is so deeply personal to us, and we can generate it at any time. It is always a choice, and it's the most empowering thing when you truly believe this. But a lot of people discount it because it can't be that easy, right? And so you don't have to wait for a vacation to feel good. And you don't have to crash and create these super wild sporadic cycles where after you have a big push and you do a lot of success in your business, you have a crash where you need to recover for days and days. You can actually serve at an incredibly high level in every area of your life without sacrificing yourself. It is 100% possible. Now, that's weird. I don't know why that shut up. But as we start to dive into some practical steps, let me be clear, there's so much to this that we're not simply going to go over in a 15-20 minute podcast. But I want to share a couple of actionable things that you can really start to do to start generating that energy freedom. Because I want that for you. I want you to feel truly free energetically. And so one thing you need to know is that energy follows alignment. And one of the best ways to feel that is to have clarity with your purpose. And I know a lot of people I talk to, they don't know what their purpose is. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what the meaning of me and why I'm here and what this is about. I don't get it. Okay, that's cool. What I challenge you to is figure out what is most important to you in your life. And so I would challenge you to grab 3 things. What are the 3 most important things in your life, and how are you living in accordance with that truth? I challenge you, if you're someone who uses a schedule, go back and look at your schedule for the last 3 months. Does it align with the 3 things that you just said? Or is there a misalignment? Because if you say your family is the most important thing, which a lot of freaking people do, but you're working 80 hours a week and your family's getting crumbs, there's a misalignment. And so energetically, you have inside of you an internal conflict where you say this thing matters the most, but this thing is what you're choosing to prioritize at full capacity. And a lot of people struggle with this, not just that example, but these internal conflicts where they're not really in alignment. So I challenge you, get clear on what matters to you, have clarity with that, extreme clarity, and make sure to make that a priority inside of your life and make the alignment. Now, also our health. I know this is cliche, but it really is true. It's really hard to feel extremely high energy and sustainable with those high levels of energy if we're not getting proper sleep, movement, nutrition, connecting with our breath, our spiritual and emotional hygiene. If we're not taking care of these things, it's going to be incredibly hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. There are people who are out of shape and can have more energy than anybody else, and it's wild. But imagine then, if you feel like you're in resonance with that in any capacity, my energy is already good. Well, imagine what would happen if you elevated the health side How would that start to transmute? Now, the third thing I want to give you is your environment is powerful. Are you in an environment where people are lifting you up? If you feel like you have shackles on your ankle of people around you and you are always having to lift people up, you're always having to coach people, support people, and I don't say that coach piece in any, if I say I'm a coach, but like if you feel like you're always having to sit here and get people out of their moods and you're the person who's always lifting people up and no one's matching your energy, no one's supporting you, that's really draining. You need spaces that inspire you, not drain you. You need an internal network of people that feel like liberation, not a cage. And so your environment matters. Number 4, emotional mastery. Learning to regulate, process, and elevate your emotions. To create a new emotional home. Where is the emotional state that you live in? We all have a home that we always return back to. We always do. And once you start to do the work in this space and increase it, life gets a lot better. What emotion do you feel most of the time? Is it joy? If so, my friend, you're winning. But if it's boredom, if it's melancholy, if you always describe your days as okay, that doesn't feel liberating. And it's not. The society that we kind of live in. And I'm not shitting on society for any sake other than just making an example of what's out there. I believe we have so much potential. I think it's actually these easy shifts that we all make that can start to transform this. And it's my job as someone in the world who's doing this work to try and help raise this level of energetic freedom all around. Because when we do, that's super powerful and our society starts to blossom because of it. So emotional mastery is number 4. And number 5, gratitude practice. I know it's simple. I know it's extremely simple. But I want to challenge you that you can't be grateful and also pissed off. Now, you might be able to reverse back and forth really quickly. I believe that. But while you are in a state of genuine full gratitude, immersed in appreciation, you can't also be anything negative. But a lot of people bounce back and forth all the time. Or they don't even allow themselves the appreciation aspect. And so whatever that looks like for you, maybe it's a journal, just writing it down every day. Maybe it's just in your prayers multiple times a day. Whatever you're doing, do more of it. You can't have enough gratitude. I mean, the life that you're living right now, you're watching this video, I promise you your life's extraordinary. If you choose it to see that way, if you choose to appreciate what's truly present in your life is extraordinary, I guarantee it. So engage in the things that spark you and start to experience more gratitude. It's a choice. And so these 5 little habits that I just mentioned, this will give you incredible energetic freedom. You see, freedom is not something that's given. It's something that you choose to live in. You don't need more time. You don't need more money. What you need is more heart. You need more presence. You need more power. You need more love. Energy freedom is not a result. It's a practice. And that's why it's the most liberating thing. And the money and the time, they're going to become a lot more abundant when you become energetically free. It is so paradoxical how most people go about it, and you have a choice to flip the script and actually go about it in a way that serves you and makes the entire journey way more beautiful. Because what most people do is they're chasing the finance, the financial abundance, and the security so that they can feel something that they can actually feel right now. And most people are chasing that level of freedom with their time because they're trying to feel something that they can feel right now. All the feelings that you've put at the end of a carrot stick that you're running in life with, that you've put as the destination, know that you can have them right now. Every single time. You can have it right now. It is 100% a choice. So my question for you as you leave here, as you step into your day, my question for you, my challenge, is to reflect, what level of freedom are you stuck at? And what is one thing you can do today to generate more aligned energy with the life that you desire? It's as simple as that. Thank you for listening, my friend. As you jump into the day, I'm cheering you on. I'm proud of you. I love you. I believe in you deeply, and you got this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me on Instagram at Master My Power, or just drop a comment down below. We'll get connected. I love you, my friend. Have a beautiful day.